Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to Challenge Rating Zero, the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves. I am Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined, as always, by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hello, I'm Brian, and I play Hector the Gatekeeper.
Hi, I'm Beth, and I play Rilla Longshadow.
Hey there, I'm Alex, and I play Ruger Firehide.
And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker. Michael Parker playing the Druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker.
Fantastic. We're joined once again, dear listeners, for a tale of epic fantasy. A lot of crazy shit going on last time. Betrayals, car chases, explosions, diplomacy, perhaps the most terrifying and vicious of all the things that happened last time. Let's get right into it. When last we left our heroes, Hector, Rilla Zurabak, and the lawman Ruger Firehide were, in Everspring, embroiled in a tale of treachery and betrayal. It would seem that the runner, Colt, a member of the conspiracy, the upper echelon of Everspring society, who has been handling our protagonists on their various quests, has been working for the Lord Deceiver the whole time. After speaking to some spies in the prison of Grotmire, our protagonist learned of Colt's true allegiances, tracked him down, lured him to the Diviner's Tower, and confronted him. It would seem that Colt has not recovered psychologically from the terrible treatment he received at the hands of the elves and has been dead set on destroying them. Here in Everspring, an attack was staged on Charissa Lamstrand's salon, which went up in flames. The arsonists were dressed up as elves in order to frame the new arrivals to the city. They were quickly chased down and apprehended by our protagonists. All the while, on the other part of town, in the College of Everspring, an assassin had slipped in to the music room and was attempting to slaughter Lore Master Kell, the Lore Master of Music, but was saved, surprisingly enough, by Zurabak, King of the Shocklers, Champion of the Goats, Emperor of the Rats, Duke of the Isle of Neho, Zurabak the Unburned Void Eater, and his herald, Cedric, who saved the life of the Lore Master of Music, and thwarted this plot. The last thing our heroes did was calm the raging anger and hatred seemingly ginned up out of nowhere for the elven people by the denizens of Everspring, and they led the entire city, including the once rampaging mob, back into town to put out the fires burning along the merchant district out there. So, we join our heroes now. About an hour after our last episode, you all, well, Hector, Rilla, and Ruger, you all are soot-stained. You have ash dusting off of your shoulders, and you are sweating from the effort of putting out this fire. You are able to swiftly rally the once enraged denizens of Everspring, who quickly took to assisting you, put out this flame. It would seem that the salon of Charissa Lamstrand has been completely immolated, burned down to the very foundation. A couple of the buildings on...
No!
Yeah, you weren't able to save it. A couple of the buildings on either side were very badly scorched, but thankfully, due to your efforts, this fire was put out without anyone dying, a few light injuries, and no meaningful destruction to the infrastructure of Everspring. Congratulations. You are currently standing in the street in front of the charred and smoldering foundation of Teresa Lamstrand's salon. You're surrounded by druids, barbarians, by college students, by members of the Order of the Quill and the Dwarven City Watch, who are all taking a moment and breathing a sigh of relief as the last embers burn out and the column of smoke stops churning in the sky above you all. Kurz approaches you out of this throng of people who are panting from the effort of putting this fire out and says, "Well, that was fucking awful. I can't believe that something so terrible would take place here in our fair city. You'd think that we would be above this sort of petty hatred, but I suppose no one is truly past this kind of xenophobia."
People are people, Kurz, and there's always some bad ones in the bunch.
Well, there is good news to be had in all of this. We have placed Colt in custody, not in the normal prison, in a far deeper dungeon, in the very bowels of Grotmire, solitary confinement, if you will. And I was able to find something very intriguing during his intake. And Kurz pulls out a very fancy-looking rod. It is something I should have looked up before I started the sentence, and I will tell you what it is in just one moment. Stalling, still stalling. All right.
Right after these paid commercials.
We'll be back after this message. So Kurz pulls out a rod. It looks like a royal scepter. It is incredibly well crafted. It's made out of gold with burning red rubies all along it, and it's the kind of thing that a king in a story might wield. It looks like it's worth quite a pretty penny. And Kurz holds it up in front of him and says, "This incredibly dangerous magic item is what assisted Colt in his effort to shape public opinion against our elven brethren. This is a rod of rulership, a powerful magical item not seen for quite some time. I was able to have Moonbeam take a look at it, and this item can shape the minds of mortals. Whoever wields it can force those around him to carry out their will as if they were their sovereign ruler. We think that Colt was using this to shape the minds of certain influential individuals here in the city."
Well, that's a nefarious artifact that probably shouldn't see the light of day anymore.
Absolutely. Things with this sort of devastating potential will usually keep under lock and key. This sort of thing is not usually allowed in the streets of Everspring. We think it may have been smuggled in, along with that assassin. You all know about the assassin, right?
Do we? Probably not.
You all ran out to to catch the arsonist, so I'm not exactly sure. Real quick, Zurabak, what are you doing? You are you have just saved the life of the lore master of music, Lore Master Kel, a middle-aged halfling woman wearing the silver robes of a lore master in the music room of the college. She has thanked you profusely for your efforts. What are you doing?
Leaving.
Mm-hmm. Where do you go?
Cafeteria.
Okay. We cut to Zurabak as he's chomping down on some ribs next to his herald, and we swap back to you guys. Yeah, there was an assassin tried to take out one of the lore masters. It seems they were another part of Colt's nefarious plot to turn us against the elves. They went after Lore Master Kel, the Lore Master of Music. I can assure you, if she had been slain and the elves were to blame, I don't know if we could have put these fires out. The entire city would have been up in arms.
Well, Crisis averted, I guess, but how exactly was the crisis averted?
Oh, Zurabek took care of it.
What?
Come again?
Zurabek found his way over to the college and, just sort of took the motherfucker out. And honestly, I'm glad he did.
Our Zerbeck?
I'm as surprised as you are. I truly am. But yeah, he valiantly showed up, kicked in a door, and stopped the assassination of a lore master.
He ate the assassin, though, right?
His snake may have eaten the assassin, I think. That sounds, yes, I believe his snake ate him.
Okay, that makes...
Okay.
See, now...
More
Alright,
than.
yeah, alright. So, Snake ate the assassin, then that probably means Zerback is in the cafeteria getting his own meal.
I think that is a safe assumption. Kurz looks around at all the devastation and says, I am so thankful that we have you protagonists here in this city to help us, protect us from ourselves. As you said, Ruger, people are people, and sometimes I fear that I overlook the weaknesses inside of some of our citizens, the prejudices. But the work you all have done this night, turning aside the rage of that mob and helping us to put out these fires, catching those responsible, you have more than earned your protagonist badges once again. The entire city is thankful for your efforts. Let's hear it for the protagonists! Huzzah! And everyone around you, just, huzzah! Huzzah! Cheers for you. It is...
I do a Queen's wave,
Hell yeah. It is as all this cheering is going on that, Rilla, you notice Charissa Lamstrand. Her dress is, of course, immaculate now after you and Hector cleaned her up and mended her clothing. But she is sort of kneeling in the dirty, ash-covered ground in front of the ruins of her salon, just kind of shifting piles of rubble in her stained hands.
Yeah, I go walk over to her.
All of my work, all of my designs, all of my precious materials, every scrap, every stitch gone.
Yeah, this sucks. I'm sorry. I'm glad that we were able to stop the rest of the city from burning, but I was really hoping we could save at least some part of your store. Your salon, excuse me.
Oh, my dear, I certainly appreciate that. Do you know what this means? She says as she waves her hand grandly over the smoldering foundation of her once grand salon.
I hope it means a new collection can begin.
You are exactly right, dear. Rebirth, renewal. We shall rise like the phoenix from the ashes of this defeat. This is simply the next stage in my illustrious career. Perhaps a minimalist approach. Shabby chic.
Ooh.
The ideas are flowering already.
I don't think shabby chic's right for you, but perhaps there's a new Charissa in there I don't know as well. It'll be exciting to see what you come up with.
Yes, I shall have to begin immediately, but yes, thank you for keeping the city from burning down and all that. I am terribly sorry for my outbursts earlier. I should have known better than to accuse my best customer and greatest model of any nefarious action. I am so sorry, dear. I don't know what came over me.
I do. It was, magic. So really out of your hand.
Oh, well, that sounds gross. You mean something was magically influencing my mind?
Yeah. See that scepter they're holding over there? It's, apparently a real evil magical item. So on the positive, it wasn't you. So that's good. I'm glad you're not, racist, I guess.
Oh, never, dear. Of course not. It takes all kinds to wear my fashions. You know what the worst part of all of this is? That scepter is so tacky. Oh.
It is pretty gross.
She says, well, I'll have to see to my assistants and see if I can get more real estate. Maybe I'll start a small pop-up out of my home. Oh, the possibilities are endless. Well, you have a great night, dear. Remember, if you need anything, it'll take me a while to get my resources together, but never fear. This is not the end of Lamstrand Customs.
I would shudder to think if it were. If you need any help, let me know. Your shop's my favorite in the city.
And you are my favorite customer.
Aw.
And with that, she grandly swirls off into the milling crowd. Kurz once again approaches you and says, well, it seems that we have all this well in hand. Quite a crazy night. I, for one, need a drink, a bath, and a bed. I'm sure you protagonists have many other things you need to get up to. You go ahead and take the night off. I'll make sure everyone gets where they need to go.
That's mighty kind of you, Kurz.
And he turns on a dime and starts conducting the crowd, getting cleanup done, assigning guard duty, and the huge group of soot-stained people all sort of mill around for a bit, clap each other on the back, share awkward chuckles at the night's craziness, and start to head on to their respective homes. What do you three do?
Strategy talk?
Y'all want to head back to the college and grab Zerback?
Yeah. I think we need to talk about if we're really going to leave the city, considering that all of our plans have been passed on already.
Well, I want to talk about it over some grub, for sure.
And drinks. Definitely drinks.
Absolutely. Does that sound good to you, Hector?
Yeah.
Fantastic. You all head to the college. You quickly make your way to the cafeteria where you find Zurabak. He is in his signature chair, which I don't think we've talked about for a long time. It is a heavy wooden chair, separate from all of the low benches that usually ring the massive wooden tables here in this expansive cafeteria. And there is a staff of harried chefs that are preparing food for him at a lightning pace, almost as fast as he can eat it. Snake is coiled up in a corner of the room, and Cedric is at the table, gushing over Zurabak. As you all walk in, and then you remember the part where I blasted my horn and I rocked that bastard so good with the horn. You remember that, boss?
Hmm.
And Zurabak, yeah, you see the protagonists all walk in.
Well. If it isn't the hero Zurabak. Saving professors, are you, buddy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome, Mr. Firehide. Duke Zurabak came up to me and he was like, hey, who's your favorite lore master? I said, I don't know, I guess Lore Master Cal. And then we went into the college and he like kicked the door down like bam, and then there was a guy and he had like a shadowy like sword knife, and then I blasted him with the horn and like Zurabak helped, but like Duke Zurabak helped, but like we totally killed him. It was awesome.
I check Zurabak for a head wound. That's what I do.
Check the Zurabak for a head wound.
Look, does he have a concussion? Is what I'm trying to figure out. 'Cause all of a sudden
If you
he's
get too
bleeding
close, you
around.
might lose fingers.
you
I'm
check
nimble.
you check Zurabak over. It seems that he is in perfect health.
Man, Zurabak, you're freaking us out. You don't typically work altruistically, so what made you do that, dude?
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
That about all meets expectations. Although I wave to the whoever's manning the cafeteria, and I do the little symbol for like a round of grub for the table. And then I squat down and banter a little with Cedric about his horn of death.
Yeah, you get you eventually through the frenzied pace of his retelling get a full account of what happened, and yeah, the one of the chefs comes over and takes everybody's order. What are you all having to eat this evening?
Roast chicken.
Hell yeah, you get an entire roast chicken and a mountain of potatoes and onions.
Perfect. I smother it all in gravy.
Fuck yeah!
I want
yeah.
several bottles of wine. That's
You
what
are
I want.
given many,
And maybe
bottles
like a
of wine.
cheese platter, like a cheese and cracker kind of thing. Whatever. I'm not sure what you eat with wine, honestly. I'm not
Sliced
fancy.
fruit.
That seems right.
You
Ooh,
get
that too. Yeah.
You get a cheese and fruit plate with like dragon fruit and Gruyere. There's shit on here you've never heard of. It's all delicious. And it goes great with the elven wine you receive, and you still don't know where the fuck they're making this stuff.
Especially now.
Especially now. Where is it coming from? No one knows.
Is it seaweed wine?
Is it from the aquatic elves?
It could be.
You know what? Ruger? You just solved the mystery.
I'm
It
just
is,
saying.
in fact, seaweed wine. The elves here in Lake Danum make the elven wine, and it is delicious and green. Yeah, it's wonderful. They step on the seaweed themselves. Hector, what are you eating?
Meat. Grog.
Yeah, you are given a Flintstone-size rack of ribs and a barrel of grog. Yeah, and you all sit down to tend to your food. The clatter of your plates and knives echo in the otherwise empty cafeteria, barely audible over the frenzied pace of the chefs cooking up more giant slabs of meat. And yeah, you settle in to have your discussion, and I will let you guys talk.
Well, I mean, the most obvious thing to say.
Go ahead.
Okay, Beth, go first.
Do we still leave the city after this has happened, knowing that our entire plan has almost certainly been broadcast to the enemy? Because my instinct is no, we don't, or we need a completely new plan.
And what would that be?
We do need a new plan.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they know we're coming. Or we get into the convoluted, now that we know they know, will they expect us to change it and therefore we should go? That's not like, I don't want to get.
Well, you convinced me.
Yeah. Rilla's head is spinning on her shoulders.
Look, the entire plan to go to Fell relied on the sheer audacity that they wouldn't expect it, and that we would potentially be able to slide in and out unnoticed. We now have to assume that they know we were planning on going, and that they know the manner in which we were going to use to get into the city.
Yep, that's rightly true. But we run into the original conundrum that we first faced, which is we need one of them platinum gyros. And, I mean, what? We killing a king now? Is that the plan?
No.
Right. So then, as best as I can tell, things ain't rightly changed that much. Lord Deceiver's always been watching. She's always been weaving her web and, spinning her machinations. And we've always been blunt instruments of Protos. And yes, our plan was predicated on the idea that we would have stealth and subterfuge on our side, but alas, we don't have that anymore. But we do have a fight coming, one way or another. And if I'm choosing, then I wouldn't mind bringing the fight to them instead of waiting for it to come here.
I actually I had a thought that is along those lines.
Do tell.
For now, we've lost the elements of surprise. The Lord Deceiver, most of her forces are gathered in Fel. This we know. But we've seen her forces. We haven't been to Fel. She's spread out. She has forces. She has assets in other locations. We need a distraction.
Well, I assume that the Lord Deceiver has her eyes on Everspring because we've acquired some very powerful, very useful tools here. How do you reckon we distract her from those?
She's gonna make her way here at some point. That's happening. And we're better off, as a whole, Everspring is better off defending than trying to go on the offensive. We stand a better chance against her forces that way. But we need to distract her in the moment.
What do you have in mind?
I mean, I think we need to talk to the diviner. We need to find a target. We need to send forces there.
Or you could attack the stupid firebugs. They're in the desert.
Something like that, yes.
Firebugs? You mean Knights of the Pyre?
Yeah. They weren't happy the last time I visited them.
Visited them.
I forgot.
What do you mean visited the Knights of the Pyre, Zerbeck?
I set some things on fire. I stabbed a guy or two. Snake ate someone. Queen Letitia was there. We had a great time.
Ah, okay, so you bloodied their nose a little bit.
Nah, I killed people.
Right.
I just opened like a second bottle of wine and I'm just chugging it at this point. Like, that's what I'm doing in the background.
So you're saying that you have some first-hand experience with a base?
Yeah, middle of the desert. Not much of a base. Just a lot of tents, a lot of people, church, a lot of sandstorm. Sandstorm was kind of nice.
Derude.
Okay, so what you're saying is we still attack the enemy, but instead of going to Fel towards the platinum gyro that we need, we instead attack a base of my...
No, I'm saying us, go to Fel.
We send an army to attack that base
Yes.
as a distraction point while we go to Fel.
Something that we know we can take and win?
Hang on, are we doing this in the middle of a goddamn cafeteria full of random people who could be listening?
That's...
You are doing this in the middle of a cafeteria with a bunch of chefs who are cooking you dinner right now.
And bards. Everywhere, bards. No, spies. Are we idiots?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are. We are.
I mean, I'm not an educated man.
Not a one of us knows how to read or write.
Glorious. Bunch of illiterate fucks.
Well, fuck it, really. We'll just kill everybody in here. It's fine. Just...
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
We're very bad at tactics, that's all. Like, no wonder
Well, look.
there's no issue getting our plans out of us.
It's...
Hang out in the cafeteria.
I was hungry.
I like it here.
I'm just like casting glares at all the not teenagers, at all the young adults around us. I'm like, as I'm saying this,
Oh, if I did not make this clear enough, the only people in this cafeteria are you guys and the cooking staff. It's like nighttime.
okay.
There's no
that's
one else in
better.
here but you and the chefs.
All right.
They know better than to leave.
We just have to kill the cooks.
The clatter of your silverware in the empty hall.
Yeah.
You know. I said that.
I was there for it.
Sorry. I didn't catch that. I'm sorry. Just imagining a bustling cafeteria and us lying out our new secret plan.
No, you
The
put
best secret plan.
once again, you all had a crazy day in Everspring where you did 13,000 things in one day, and it's just nighttime. Like the first day you got here. So okay, please continue. My apologies.
Are we still on the first day?
Fuck. Yeah, you all wake up. It's the first day you got to Everspring. Can't do the campaign over. Do the whole thing over again.
Are we just going into Skyrim? Oh, you're finally awake.
Hector, I don't hate the plan. It's an interesting notion, to say the least. I mean, we'd still be walking into a death trap. The logic being that she knows we're coming, and our ace in the hole is that we'd just be coming without support, and instead sending that support to hopefully rout and take over one of her bases. But
It's mind games at this point. Does she think that we are dumb enough to still come knowing that she knows? Or is she dumb enough to think that us attacking a different area is our new plan? There's no way of knowing. We don't know how she would process this or what she would think is the real plan.
We might know more than you think, Rilla Longshadow.
is that the cat?
The Stricken is just standing at the table. You did not see him come in. You don't know where he came from. He's just standing between eye blinks. He's just standing next to you all at the table, and the candles, the torches, the chandeliers that normally light this enormous room. There's only like one of them lit above the table you're at. The shadows, the ample shadows in this room, seem to be sort of like bending towards Antony as he stands there. He's still a 3-foot tall gnome, but now he's got jet black hair, his black eyes radiating darkness, his skin pale, his cheeks gaunt, and now there's just seems to be darkness sort of bending towards him, like quicksilver all flowing together. It looks like he's drinking in darkness, just standing still. He says, the very interesting idea you had, Rilla, in the prison. Me devouring a portion of the Lord Deceiver's essence. It did give me some insight into her thinking on things.
It also gave you a very, very creepy aesthetic, Antony. What the fuck is going on, man?
I am merely closer than I ever was to the Godhead I gave up to come down here and fix what I broke. I have always been a creature of darkness, Firehide. He waves his hand, and a ball of shadow flows into his palm, and then he closes a fist, and it disappears.
I light my fire axe, and then I use it to light a cigarette.
Fuck yeah, you do. Every time, it's awesome. Every time.
That is true. He has always been a creep. I agree.
Yeah, now it's just a little more outward about it. But do tell, Devil, what kind of insight do you have for us now?
Well, you all should be delighted to know that though the Lord Deceiver did have a spy in the conspiracy, one that was able to glean every bit of information on every mission and every priority we had, I now have insight into the Lord Deceiver's forces. The small sliver of her essence I devoured has allowed me a peek into her mind. She is focusing on gathering her forces. Her main army is in Fel, and yes, as Zurabak said, the Knights of the Pyre have stationed themselves in the desert. They are planning to join their forces all together, moving the knights from their camp into the city of Fel in the Badlands, but this will take time. Moving that many warriors, even with the magic at the Lord Deceiver's disposal, which is unthinkable at this point, will take time. If we sent a force into the desert to harry the Knights of the Pyre, it would cause quite a headache and demand the attention of the Lord Deceiver. If she is distracted in such a way, you may very well gain the opportunity you were hoping for to storm the gates of Fel.
Well, I'd wager Bonnie and my soldiers would be up to that task. Harrying foes is a good job for cavalry, but I'll admit the sand isn't the best for it.
Yes, the irony in this plan is that we ourselves will have to figure out how to get an army into the desert. But given my newly enhanced abilities, I may have an answer for that as well. I only mean to say that if you follow Hector's plan, there are means with which it might work. But you are the protagonists. I will do my best to support any plot you all cook up here.
Zurabak, what can you tell us of what their base looks like, how many forces they have? Do you remember?
Less than there were when I got there.
Cedric pipes up. Oh, don't you worry about that, big bro. Lord Zerabak told me all about it. It sounds like there's, about 300 or 400 knights and sorcerers out there. They got a camp, sort of staked out in the middle of the desert. Some kind of magic's keeping them safe from the sandstorms out there. They got like an old temple right in the middle. It's open to the air, but the sandstorms are going to make it tricky for anyone to get in there, I think.
Doesn't sound exactly conducive to a cavalry charge. By air, you say? Any angle there?
That's how I got there.
You can fly now?
You've seen him.
And then there was a dinosaur. Tell him about the dinosaur.
You've seen Zurabak fly. You've seen Zurabak grow wings like Sephiroth and stab an evil monk. You know this.
Okay, yeah, all right.
I don't know. I think he was unconscious at that point.
I might have died at that exact point.
Oh my god! I think you're right. Holy shit! My bad. Yeah,
I think Hector was the only one up.
That's what I get for talking. That's what I get.
Yeah, he can fly. I've seen it. But honestly, does anything he does surprise you ever?
No. But I just had a thought, and maybe it's a wildly stupid one, but any chance we might be able to attack that base from below? Maybe some of them tunnels.
That'd be a question for your new dwarf friend.
That does sound very funny. I'm just picturing them being swallowed up by the sand as forces attack them from underneath.
Yeah, I mean,
It is a fun visual for me to think of.
I mean, our options are either we charge into a sandstorm, we find some means of, I don't know, flying in, or we tunnel. And yeah, it's sand, but I know dwarves got magic. They can turn sand to stone and I don't know, all kinds of shit. So who knows? But if we're trying to launch a surprise attack on that base, what other options do we have?
A fair question, Firehide. And I may remind you, the Stricken's now just on your other side. He just disappeared and reappeared on the other side of you.
Oh, my very own devil on my shoulder.
If you are planning a surprise attack, you must keep in mind the vast resources that you all now have at your disposal. You are no longer simply warriors charging an enemy. You have druids, you have bards, you have barbarians, archers, all at your disposal. If Zurabek here was able to get there by air, perhaps our druid companions could provide some means of aerial transportation?
Okay. That's a interesting notion.
I merely wish to make sure that you all keep in mind all the pieces you have on the board. If you are going to outsmart the Lord Deceiver, keep in mind all of the tools in your kit.
Well, one thought would be, Zurback, you found some of that blasting powder. Maybe we could, I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on, you brought it, showed it off to the dwarves, big old keg of death and destruction.
The boom boom juice.
Right, yeah, something like that.
God! Jesus God!
Yeah, well,
Christ.
okay.
Fucking what? It's not a liquid.
Makes everything else liquid.
Save it for the podcast, Parker. Goddamn. Yeah. Sorry.
Zurabak, would you think it would be maybe a fun idea if that boom boom juice was used to fuck up those guys that you...
Oh, sure. Worked last time.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's one thought. Hit him from the skies, drop some goddamn boom boom juice on him, and
We can't.
I don't know.
It's canon now. Fuck. No, it's canon. No. God, my beautiful world. No, fuck.
Well, I don't know. I've heard tell of this place is temple, right? There's a temple in the middle of it. Maybe we shoot for that, blow that bitch up, and I don't know. Otherwise, storm the place. Anyone else have any bright ideas?
No.
That sounds good to me.
I think it's best if we leave the archers here. Everspring is still the most vulnerable from the sky, so they should stay put. Kurz and his forces probably should hold down the fort as well.
Well, that is an interesting question. You all are commanders of sizable forces in your own right. If you are planning to lead an assault upon this base in the desert, who will go and who will stay? Hector, will you send your warriors? Rilla, your archers? They are your forces to command.
we were going to bring forces with us as a show. What if we still did, but then we just rerouted those forces at the appropriate point while we, the Iron Shogun, head on ahead to Fel?
My word, Hector, you have become quite devious.
Strategy is not being devious.
Oh, of course. Fooling and tricking and cunningly outmaneuvering your opponent. That's all very straightforward stuff.
Well, I think Bonnie and my forces can fight. Like I said, the terrain's not the best, but horseback fighting is still superior. Bonnie's a beast with her weapon. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think about the gatekeepers, Hector?
So obviously we don't want to cripple Everspring's defenses.
We can't.
I'm leaving my archers here. They need to build goodwill. They are the only people who are watching the sky. I think it's important for morale that they are seen to be still defending their city instead of marching off after this accusation, false or not. In terms of who would stay, I want them to stay.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's just, yeah.
I also think the bulk of the Order of the Quill should stay here as well. I mean, Everspring is our last line of defense. Everything is stored in that vault. So, they should stay. A
lot of the gatekeepers are helping with defenses, but I can send some.
Might help, and maybe we can rustle up some forces from the Iron Shogun. See if maybe some of them Deep Wardens or, I don't know, some contingent of his forces might supplement our own.
I'm sure that the Iron Shogun would be more than amenable to bring the fight to the enemy. He seems like he's raring for a scrap himself. Zurabak, would your liege lady Queen Letitia be interested in another sortie against these knights in the desert?
Probably. You should ask her. I asked her last time.
Ah, yes. I have been rather inattentive to my most passionate and devoted follower. Give me one moment.
I look over at Ruger.
I take a long drag of my cigarette and looking exactly like Matthew McConaughey from True Detective.
It's a very, very memey episode. The stricken steps backwards into a shadow cast by a chair and fucking disappears.
Don't like
Just
that.
gone.
Don't like that.
Yeah, that's not...
Nope.
Move the chair.
I actually do, in fact, like I kick the chair. I kick it over.
The chair falls over with a clatter. One of the chefs looks up from the onions they're chopping and then looks back down. Nothing else happens.
Yeah. Well, maybe the Circle of the Serpent can, Talon can be convinced to lead the aerial assault. Bonnie and my knights, along with the forces of the Iron Shogun and maybe some of Queen Letitia's troops as well, and hell, we might have a strike force.
We should arrange, I think, perhaps some sort of meeting of the heads of these forces.
Well, Bonnie's easily summoned, and we already have a meeting with the Iron Shogun, so that seems as good a place as any. Maybe you rustle up your gatekeepers, and we see what the Stricken can do about bringing Zurabak's Night Sister into the fold, and I don't
I
know.
don't like that. I don't like-
Queen Letitia is amenable to the plan.
Yeah.
The Stricken says right behind you. Just right behind you.
God. Fucking.
She has made a very impressive amount of the boom boom juice and is more than willing to bring it to bear.
All right. Zerback, what about your estate? I mean, I'm pretty sure Mrs. Fisher is forced to be reckoned with on the battlefield.
Oh, you'd have to ask her.
No,
My staff doesn't do what I tell them to. I don't tell them to do anything.
I look at the Herald. I look at Cedric.
Yeah, that's no problem. I've been playing go-betweens ever since I got this job. I talk so he doesn't have to. Don't worry about it, Mr.
Great.
Firehide. I'll check in with Pretty Polly and for sure.
All right, great. Well, what do you say? We summon these forces at the meeting with the Iron Shogun and run them through the plan, get everybody on the same page, and then they march off to this desert fortress and we march off to our chaos city and try and avert the end of the world.
I do love when a plan comes together.
Shut the fuck up.
I take a pull off of Rilla's bottle of wine, only now realizing that she's just been getting hammered over my shoulder. Like,
I'm probably on the third bottle at this point.
Rilla's fucking wasted. Rilla's
Yeah,
favorite
'cause-
clothing store just got burned to the ground. There was some
And my
racial
own
hatred.
fuck up made the devil stronger. So yeah, I'm pretty drunk at this point.
and I mean, there was like a whole cloud of elven hatred hanging over this city for the last, like,
Yeah, that too. Yep. It's a bad day.
I take the bottle from Rilla. She probably fights me on it a little bit, but I give her that like stern look for a second.
No, I let you have it. I just order another one. I just
Yeah.
like beckon.
Nice.
Yeah, you're protagonist. You can have as many bottles of wine as you can fucking drink.
Fuck yeah. I drink some. And then look at the crowd and say, well, I reckon we were planning on meeting the Shogun tomorrow, so I might want to rest it off and head down there in the morning?
Yep. Sounds good to me.
All right.
I get close to Antony because I'm drunk.
Mhm.
And I say, don't fucking jump out of nowhere on me. Okay? I'm gonna go take a bath, and if you show up, I'm punching you in the nose. No more surprise jumps. And then I just grab a bottle and wander off.
I would never think to prank the master of pranking. No worries.
I look at the cat and give it a nod to go follow Rilla.
As Rutherford is stalking off, yeah, you do share a meaningful look, and he scampers off after his mistress. Great. So yeah, do you all hit the hay, take a shower, grab some more grub, hit the sack, and then go to bed?
Yeah, that's kind of my plan. Cleaned up, eat, drink a little, rest, go to my death in Fell.
There seems to be a pattern with Rilla of her getting real fucked up and then having a meeting the next day. So why change it, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Rilla Longshadow is a drunken teenager that can turn into dragons. And that's just fine. That's just fine.
That's where she is right now. It's college. Not that she's in it, but technically, it's fine.
Did I ever tell you fucking bitches about the time I died? Man, there's some fucking bullshit. God
Yeah, I'm
damn
just
it.
drunk in a bathtub talking to my cat.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah.
Mistress, I think you've had enough.
Shut up, cat.
I pour Rutherford his own saucer. I'm like, shut up, have some beer for yourself.
You know what, on second thought, you're right. I'm being a buzzkill.
Yeah. Let's relax before we maybe die, okay? I just leave him a bottle. I dump like a whole bottle into like a bowl and leave it for him. So I get drunk with my cat. It's even sadder.
Yeah. No, Rutherford gets wasted.
Mistress, let me say, mistress, it has been a pleasure just sort of following you around, and I just wanted to say that it's been a pleasure following you. Did I say that? Already?
I'm so glad I bought you from that merchant when you were a baby. Such a cute little baby you were.
He purrs emphatically. And the night comes to an end.
Purr slurs.
You will get some shut-eye. You wake up the next day, meet up, and what are we doing, y'all?
Summoning Bonnie and marching to the deep holds.
Eating the greasiest breakfast I could find, and then asking Abigail if she knows any hangover cures. She's magic, too.
Nice.
Oh, Rilla, I am so glad you asked. I had a vision just last night that should be fucking wasted this morning. So what I did is I just went ahead and already made you something. Go on. It's 2 raw eggs. It's a bit chili powder in there, and just a whole lot of Tabasco sauce and love. Here you go. Should fix you right up.
I like that. These eggs are from today. You didn't open them last night and then leave them out.
Oh no, of course not.
Okay.
No. I see the future, silly. I know when you were gonna come by. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, and then I take Bonnie not Bonnie, my God. I take Abigail with me.
You are
I
drunk.
just had a slip of the tongue. Yes.
Listeners, it's time. You know what? It's time we went behind the scenes here. Listeners, Beth is drunk every time we play this game. And as a mother of 2, it's starting to become a problem,
So, do you go to Abigail and call her Bonnie, or do you go to Bonnie and call her Abigail?
Ooh, I call Abigail Bonnie because I'm hungover, for sure. And I'm also probably slumped in her doorframe a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're not
at the
well.
church, right? Yeah.
You are in your golden cloak of charisma, and you are green and hunched. Yeah, you eat a bunch of greasy potatoes and bacon and get this hangover cure, and you're doing all right. So Rilla, you grab your cohort. Ruger, you grab your cohort. Hector, are you grabbing your cohort?
Indeed, I am grabbing Yvonne.
Fantastic. Zurabak, are you going to talk to? Are you going along?
What?
I also go get Zurabak.
I was going to say I also assist in the escorting of Zurabak.
I do not at all assist.
Hey, you need to worry about you right now.
You all join up and head down to Grotmire, taking the enormous stone platform leading down into the depths. You are greeted with the normal rush of water from the massive waterfall plunging through the center of the cylindrical hold deep in the heart of the Everspring Mountains, and you are swiftly escorted by a group of dwarven guardsmen down to the Redstone Keep, the gorgeously constructed flowing red stone that makes up the hold of the Lord of Grotmire, the Iron Shogun. You all approach, and he is out in the courtyard of his great redstone hold, looking over some troops. Rank upon rank of dwarven warriors in beautiful lacquered plate armor are running through some drills with their razor-sharp curved swords flowing through fighting stances as the Iron Shogun looks on, and he turns to regard you all as you are announced by a page and says,
"Oh, well, I see that you all are punctual.
That bodes well for what comes next. Welcome back to the Bloodstone Keep.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us, Your Grace.
Nice.
I hear there was some excitement on the surface last night. I trust no one was harmed in the fire.
We dealt with it. But there was more than just the fire that happened. Actually,
We have much to fill you in on.
yeah.
Yes, well, let us retire to my study, and we can talk.
So you are in the cozy study of the Iron Shogun. It's a beautiful room made of carved red stone that is so beautifully worked that it seems like flowing red water all around you. There's this beautiful conversation pit in the middle, and the Iron Shogun is seated on a very large metal chair, his enormous golem body dominating the room as you all mill about, looking like children in his presence. And he looks down at you all after you've told him what happened and told him your plan. And he says,
Well, that is certainly different from the course of action we had discussed previously. I am surprised that you would change tact so drastically in so short a time, but I respect your grasp of the situation, and I must say I am impressed by your cunning and grasp of stratagem. I think that this is a good plan. A strike force assaulting a separated wing of the Lord Deceiver's army as a distraction while we infiltrate her base. It is a good plan. A good plan indeed. I will lend forces to the strike team, of course. Not enough to leave us defenseless here, but yes, this will work. Here is what I suggest. We make a grand show of departing here. We will continue as before. You with your forces following me on a grand review of the Deep Wardens. Everyone here in the city will think that you are accompanying a doddering old monarch to go stare at the pretty soldiers he has underground. After we are outside of the city limits, as Hector says, our army will depart south toward the desert as we make our way east toward Fell. Yes, I think the Lord Deceiver will be quite surprised by what we have in store for them. Well, I suppose we shall have to make some preparations. Who else do we need to rope into this plan, protagonists? The Talon, the leader of the Druids, of course. I understand that Antony has already spoken to Queen Letitia. Yes. Well, I shall summon someone for Talon immediately, and after a few moments, Talon shows up in the study.
Well, this is quite an interesting group of incredibly powerful and influential warriors. I'm glad I made the cut. How's everyone doing? Good? Been a while? Great? Love it. Okay, so...
I wave.
She waves back. She paces about the room in her feathered mantle. The clattering of the various talons and beaks on her person filling the room as she frantically paces. Yeah, this could definitely work. We've got a couple dozen druids that could definitely turn into animals large enough to bear riders, or they could just carry some of that nasty boom boom juice that you were talking about earlier. Yeah, we could definitely rain hell on some of these nights out there. And honestly, it'd be great to just get out in the field and fuck some shit up. I've been getting a little restless in this city you guys got here. So absolutely, we're totally down. This sounds
It's awful here.
It sucks, right? Dude, it's the worst. I don't know how you get by here.
They feed me.
A lot.
Yeah, I will say, not having to hunt food is fucking rad. I will say, of all the stuff about City Life, there's food fucking everywhere.
I mean, not when Zerback's in a room, because it all just goes down that gaping maw.
Solid burn, iced you, got it. Oh man, sick burn. That was good shit. But yeah, we're totally down. When do we start?
Well, actually, Zerback, I have a question. What about Zerback Jr.?
My son is living his best life. You leave him out of this.
I thought maybe the giant skeleton might be cool for the distraction, but, just a thought.
Talon speaks up at that. Well, Zerback Jr. is kind of my house. I know it's a little weird, but the Circle of the Serpent kind of lives in there. And let me tell you something. As much as I would love getting our home base just out in the sands as a mobile weapons platform, it was not easy cutting through the raging sands and that thing on our way north. Getting it back down there is going to be way slower than just us winging out there on our own. Plus, if we're leaving the city behind, it wouldn't hurt to have an enormous bone monster to guard our asses, right?
Yeah, that's a fair enough point.
I like where your head's at, though. We got to put some weapons on that thing.
Arbalists.
Oh, yeah. You know anybody that knows anything about arbalists?
Yeah, there's this woman, Tess. She's...
Great. All right. So we get a force together. We've got dwarves. We've got barbarians. We've got druids. We've got mounted soldiers. And we'll lead a strike team while you guys are puttering around in the horrible Badlands where you probably won't come. Yeah, what if you guys don't come back? We're just kind of fucked then, right?
I think the last plan of reserve is that I will teleport back with the heart one way or another, even if everybody else has to die for that.
The Iron Shogun winks at you as you say that.
Fucking what?
One way or another, I appreciate your resolve. Believe me, it is not my intention to keep this from you, only to ensure that when I fall, it is in a worthy battle. Yes, please, take my heart when the time comes, even if it is the only thing that survives this mission. Well, I think we are all agreed. We shall spend this day staging our forces, and I am prepared to leave this very evening. Though, perhaps we could take a day to spread the word.
I think surprise is still somewhat of the essence. I'm ready to ride this evening if you all are.
I've got no reason to stay.
Hashtag deep.
Devastating. Absolutely devastating. Oh my god, that hurt me. I made so many NPCs. Fuck.
Man, I'm in a bleak mindset because Rilla's drunk. Rilla had a rough yesterday, and then she just remembered that the final plan is that all of her friends die and cut the heart on this dude, and she just bounces. It's rough. Okay? This is a lot to ask of a teen girl. So yeah, sorry.
Well, don't
forget no better
that if you do survive and rip out the heart, then you just gotta save the world by yourself.
Yeah.
No big deal.
With Anthony, who can apparently just pop away in his own now.
It's fine.
Great.
Fine. Totally fine.
And whatever the next round of people he selects, the B team that'll show up. Yeah, no, great.
Cedric,
Beth,
the gatekeeper.
Beth, you're spoiling season 1.5. we finish this campaign after you all get murdered.
No, it'll be like me and Talon voiced by Zurabak or whatever. It'll be weird.
Yeah. Also, pro tip to any dungeon masters out there, if you're having problems narratively justifying why your quest giver is around, just make him intangible or able to teleport. It doesn't fucking matter. Where's the stricken? Oh, he's right there. He always was. Who gives a shit?
I kicked the chair over.
He was under it the whole time. All right. That's enough chuckle fucking around. We have a plan. Yeah. Are you all ready to assemble your forces and leave this very night?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I nod for Zurabak. Like he's
I
in.
already said I'm ready. So
Zurabak's just staring off into space.
Then it shall be done. It has been a long time since I've traveled the fallen roads of my ancestors. It will be good to be within the heart of the stone once more, even if it is for the last time. Well, I will see you all this very night in front of the palace. We'll have to make a grand show of our departure. Until then, protagonists, may narrativa guide your path.
Yeah, and break. So, you all fuck off. You assemble your forces.
I'm bringing Abigail and no one else. I probably stop by and tell the elves like there's these missions going on, and that's important for their presence to be there, to be as helpful as they can. You know, the rumors are bullshit and we've knocked them out, but they still need to be on their best behavior. Be as helpful as you can while we're gone, and keep the skies clear.
Your Aunt Arafin, as you give these instructions, says, "Don't worry about a thing, my little sarsaparilla. I am still the elder of this tribe, and I will make sure that we are seen in the proper light. I've been trying to make inroads with the upper crust of this city ever since we came here, and I will make sure that we are seen and that we are well regarded. Fear not. I have things well in hand, and I eagerly await your return."
You know, considering the people I typically deal with, it's real nice to have a grown up who can take care of themselves. That's all. It's really I'm so glad you're back home with us.
It warms my heart as well to be with you here in these desperate times. And I must remind you that I was just another one of these irresponsible, short-sighted adults until a very smart young woman talked some sense into me. You have credit for that, too.
Aw, shucks. Well, I couldn't have done it if you weren't a good person under all the, fear-based decision-making. So, this is getting too emotional. I'm gonna head out, but, great talking to you.
Before you go, one more thing.
SpongeBob meme.
She... Fuck you! I'm building to something here, Alex! God damn!
It's very meme worthy. That's all I'm saying.
Before you go, your Aunt Arafin, dressed in the garb of the elders, the flowing robes made of woven green leaves, rushes forward and takes you up in her spindly old arms and gives you a hug. And more than that, just kind of holds you for a minute or two.
Aww.
I hug her back.
Yeah. She strokes your hair for a bit and says, "The weight of the world should not be on the shoulders of one so young. I am sorry that all of this is falling upon you. But you are the strength of our people incarnate. You can do this."
I hope so. There's a lot of weight on my shoulders. But I don't see any other option than to just keep trying until I can't.
And that is why you will win. Cut 2. Hector the Gatekeeper, Keeper of the Gates.
I am going to bring, obviously, Ivan Eightfinger, as well as approximately half of my forces, which will be 45 barbarians.
Fuck yes. You're bringing... God, I love this game so much. Excellent. So you're bringing a coterie of 45 Gatekeeper Barbarian Warriors. Fully half of your army. Excellent. The other half,
Yes.
you leave tending the walls.
Yes, and real quick, when I go to gather my forces, I would like to find my father.
He is tending his post on the wall. He is standing at the top of the gatehouse on the curtain wall surrounding the city of Everspring, staring out into the mountains as you approach. He says, "Ah, my son. Another city nearly brought to ruin by that damned Lord Deceiver and all of her machinations. These people are lucky you were here to save them."
I do not and cannot do it alone.
"You're right, of course. It takes a village, as they say." "Well, to what do I owe the pleasure of seeing my boy here on the wall?"
I figured that if you are going to help defend this city, you need a proper weapon. And I sling my ridiculously oversized maul out from my back and mostly hold it out to him. It's dragging on the ground a little bit. It's tough one-handed.
It's very heavy. You just said it's very heavy. You hand over your signature weapon, your ridiculously oversized maul, and your father looks at you and says, "Son, I will wield this with honor." And he grabs it up and tests its weight. He gives it a few practice swings, and there's the low whoosh, whoosh of its massive head swinging through the air. He says, "My gods, boy, I've forgotten how much you liked these ridiculously oversized weapons. This is going to take some getting used to, but I'm sure I could bring down half a platoon with just this weapon alone. You done good, son. Listen, I'm sure what you are about to do is going to be dangerous. Everything you seem to do these days is. But I want you to know that your people have your back. I wasn't strong enough to protect Giant's Rest, but you mark my words, son. This gate will be kept."
Single tier. I hold out my hand for a good classic forearm clasp.
Yeah, like the meme.
Yeah. And then I pull him into a hug.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, he hugs the shit out of you. He pulls you up off the ground. His 7 foot tall frame just picking you up and giving you a ridiculous bear hug.
I was gonna say, now if you'll excuse me, Father, we're off to break the Lord Deceiver's pinky. It's because her hand.
Wait, what?
If her forces are that, it's a small part of her forces. It's not. It makes sense. No, it makes sense. Actually, just real quick, can I swing by, very, very quick? I'd like to find the Hilltopples.
Yes.
Hey, you wanna fuck some shit up?
Of course, you find them. They are drinking at the Crooked Stool. "Hector, I've been waiting this entire time for you to come through that door and ask us that question." "I've been waiting too. Just want to point that out. I've been also waiting." "Yes, we will absolutely
Great.
come with you wherever you're going. Our dogs need to run and we need to spill some blood." "That was a little dark, sister. Maybe tone it down a bit." "You're right. That was a lot. We're ready to fuck some shit up." Hell yeah. They hop down out of their booth, drain their flagons, and follow you out the door. Fantastic. Anyone else?
That's it.
All right. Hector grabs some barbarians and the Hilltopples. And Ruger Firehide, who you bringing on the trip?
I am going to have Bonnie take the entirety of my forces. It'll be the spine of this attack. And I have a weird thought. So I approached Bonnie.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, point of order. Yeah. How many soldiers do you have? Do you have the math on that up anywhere?
I do. So it is 75 first level followers, 7 second, so that's 82. 4 third is 86. 2 fourth is 88. 2 fifth is 90, and 1 sixth for 91, plus Bonnie, who is level 13.
Damn near 100 mounted knights. Goddamn. All right, please continue. You're talking to Bonnie.
Yeah, so I'm going to take all 92 of those knights, and I'm going to have Bonnie lead them. And I had relatively recently asked Bonnie if she would go on a suicide mission with me to Fell.
Yes.
And that has since changed. I think Bonnie needs to lead these people. However, we are trying to be, tactical here and sow a little bit of confusion. And I did ask Bonnie already to go on a suicide mission. So I asked her if she wouldn't mind playing a little game of dress up and wearing my hat and duster coat and protagonist badge. And, I don't know, be a fake Ruger Firehide on that field.
Oh my God. Oh shit.
I don't know.
She looks at you. Her eyes are as wide as dinner plates as she looks up at you. Her frizzy hair, her frizzy red hair is sticking up from under her helmet. She says, Commander Firehide, that sounds like quite the devious little plan there. And let me just think about it for a moment. Fuck yes, I'll do that. That sounds fucking awesome, if you'll pardon my French. There's just one problem.
Please let Rilla use disguise self on her, please.
Ooh.
Well, disguise self works on yourself.
Would it be French?
What?
You said pardon her French. Would it be French?
God
pardon my gatekeeper.
Pardon my dwarf.
No, disguise. Sorry, just disguise. I jumped too far. Like, just leave my disguise kit that I haven't used in forever.
Oh, yeah, you'll be touching up some makeup before you guys split off into separate forces.
Excellent.
For sure.
Okay.
Bonnie says, that sounds like an excellent idea, and I'd be honored and delighted to throw off the enemy and don your apparel. There's just, Commander Firehide, there's just one thing I think is going to clinch it, and I don't know if you're willing to take that step, really make this plan come together. You're kind of known for riding a particular horse, and I just don't see any way around me not being being able to sort of ride Cole into combat, So that's the only problem I could see with the plan. And she's like half grinning.
Shit. Well,
just if you wanted me to just play your part, I mean, we could paint up a horse, I guess, or you could just let me ride Cole into the heart of the battle.
Okay, well, all right. Look, it's worth considering, but I should mention that you'd be dressing up like protagonist and an arch nemesis of our arch nemesis, and you'd be painting a pretty big target on yourself dressing up like me. You understand that, right?
Commander Firehide, there's a target on the entire fucking world right now. I don't mind taking a little bit of the heat on myself.
All right, well, then I reckon if you're going to play that part, then you better play the part right. And I summoned Cole just a little, dejectedly.
Yes! She's jumping up and down. Yes! Oh, hell yes! Narrative be praised. All glory to Protos. Yes! Come on now.
I flick away my half-discarded cigarette in disgust. All right. Cole, will take care of you, and you'll take care of Cole. I mean, kind of can't die, but still, just, don't be dumb.
She is not even listening to you. She's like nuzzling Cole. She's like nuzzling Cole's snout. Hey there, boy. We're going to be together for this one. I'm excited. Are you excited? Yes, you are. Who's a good horsey? Who's the best horsey?
God damn, I light up another cigarette. Realizing that I've surrounded myself with another, I don't know. God damn it. Oh.
Excellent. So
Teenager, young adult.
Yep.
Yes.
So you're bringing Bonnie, you're bringing your entire army. Is there anyone else you wanted to tap for this one?
Well, I think Kurz is going to hang back and run the show.
Oh yeah, to make it clear, your detachment is separate from all the other.
Right,
there's still a whole. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of warriors still in town. Separate from your all's forces. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. So then I think my 92 soldiers, Bonnie included, and of course now my ghost horse. I think that'll cover it.
Only 100 warriors. Okay, if you think that's enough. And Zurabak, are you
Time for the show after the show.
are you bringing are you bringing anybody along on this jaunt?
No. Snake.
Okay. Are you bringing? So you're not bringing your herald?
I mean, he coming for once. I'm not going to tell him.
Oh, he certainly does not want. He's not. Boss, I'm just going to sit this one out because it sounds like you're going to go to the worst place on the island and everyone's maybe not going to come back. So I'm just going to, you just tell me about it when you get back. And, you know what I could do is I could watch from the Diviner's Tower. Then I could watch the whole thing happen.
Sure, do whatever you want. I'll be back.
Great. Thanks, boss. Cool. And we will end today's episode with a lovely splash page. You all assemble your forces and gather in the broad courtyard of the Crimson Rock of the Bloodstone Keep, which stands beneath the towering waterfall, dropping all the way through the holds of Grotmire. With you, our four protagonists are Yvonne Eightfinger, his rapier at his side, clenching and unclenching his metal fingers. Bonnie Bolt, restringing her massive crossbow with a huge metal cord. Abigail Ironeye, who is dutifully praying to Narrativa for guidance on the path forward. A army of mounted knights behind Commander Firehide, a solid army of barbarians behind Hector the Gatekeeper, and a giant detachment of dwarven warriors led by the Iron Shogun. As you all gather, the Iron Shogun looks over this powerful, massive force heading out and says,
Well, I suppose there is no time like the present. May the gods watch over us on our journey. Let us depart.
and you all take your first steps on a road leading ever deeper into the yawning caves and endless tunnels beneath the rock of the Isle of Neosha. And that is where we'll end.
Hello, and welcome to Happily Ever After, the podcast after the podcast, where we take a deep dive into the romantic inclinations, aspirations, and the very deepest desires of our bachelors and bachelorette. In tonight's very special episode, we have a thought-provoking question that will hopefully give insight into our bachelors and bachelorette and reveal a little bit more about who they are to those most interested. So, Hector, the gatekeeper, bachelor number 1. How are you, buddy?
I am well. And you?
I am living the dream as only a late night radio DJ can. And, Hector, tonight, we need to talk about what really matters to you. And, by that I mean, if you, Hector the gatekeeper, bachelor number 1, were to be trapped on a desert island, maybe like one of them remote ashen islands, and you could only have 3 belongings, 3 items to take with you, what would you take, buddy?
Ooh, trapped on a desert, and you said an ashen, so there's, okay. Okay, so rope, because you need, rope's always useful. Right. And then probably a weapon to defend myself and hunt with. Okay, so that's 2.
Yep.
Like, firewood? Yeah, firewood. So like a rope, a weapon, and firewood is what I would bring.
Firewood.
Oh, and I guess when I was saying 3 things, I forgot to say clothes. Oops.
Ooh, la, la. Hector, that is both tantalizing and pragmatic of you. I mean, it tells a lot about how you're a provider and, how you're always thinking about the problems of tomorrow. And you're doing all of that without wearing any clothes.
Which camera's on me so I can wink at it?
Great stuff, buddy. I really appreciate left one. Hector, your other left, buddy. Yeah, that one. Right. Sharon, zoom in. Ding. Great. Perfect. Audience is gonna love that. Fantastic. Thank you, Hector. I really, and thank you, Matt, to our editor for all of this. And, all right, Bachelorette number 2, Rilla Longshadow, please come on down. How are you?
I am still here for some reason, doing this dating show.
Well,
for you,
Rilla, it's because you're following your heart. You're chasing after that fleeting dream for romance that. It can almost make your heart skip a beat, Rilla. You do have a heart under all that teenage angst, right? I mean, anyways, Bachelorette number 2. If you, Rilla Longshadow, were to be trapped on a desert ashen isle, and you could only take 3 items with you on this island, what would you want our suitors at home to know you'd take?
Who trapped me? Is it Zurabak? It's gotta be Zurabak, right? We all know it's Zurabak. You can pretend. But clearly Zurabak is responsible for this.
I mean, Zurabak is responsible for all kinds of things, and it wouldn't put it past him. So sure, if that's what you need to get into the mindset of, answering the question, then yeah, Zurabak trapped you on a desert island, and you could only have 3 items before it did.
Well, Ashen Islands suck. It's really hot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
not a fan of the lava.
Very, very, very lava-based. All the animals want to murder you. I don't think it's a particularly sexy place to be. You're gonna, die of exposure if you're not careful, right? So, but I can turn into very attractive dragons that can fly away. So, it's really, I'm just there for as long as I feel like it. And in that case, I suppose I would bring a swimsuit.
Okay.
Because that would be useful. a lovely, lovely snack, and a towel. Because after that, I'm just going to leave. Is that attractive enough? I don't know how to do this. Yet again, teenager.
Rilla,
So
you nailed it. You know, I mean, the studio audience is just, look at them. They're lapping it up. And then I hit the studio
and
audience.
then I'm going to
button.
fly off and hunt down Zurabag for leaving me on an island, just by the way.
Yeah, I mean, he had it coming, that's for sure. So, you know, absolutely, in this hypothetical, you set up a lovely romantic beachside afternoon with your potential suitor. And then you fly off and probably abandon your suitor on the beach while you hunt down your friend to a bloody demise.
Exactly.
Perfect. Yeah, nailed it. Absolutely spot on for Bachelorette number 2. Thank you, Rilla. And after much ado, that brings us to Bachelor number 3. Zurabak. Tattles. Hey, buddy. Welcome to the show. Right. Yeah, buddy. Picture this. You're Zurabak, Bachelor number 3, and you inexplicably ended up trapped on an island.
No one traps her back. Not possible.
An island where you wanted to be only on the island. And you wanted to be on this island with only 3 items. What 3 items would you take, Zurabak?
Then I'm probably here to hunt. So, spear, snake, and stupid dagger.
By stupid dagger, you mean the one that can cut through reality?
Yeah, for the really hard things that need stabbing.
Right, okay. Yep, that absolutely, Zurabak. That continues to track on your theme of hunting and, you know, violence. I would like to remind you that this is Happily Ever After, the podcast after.
Oh, I will be quite happy. Great time. Everyone enjoys it, whether they want to or not.
Right, so that'll do it here on Happily Ever After.
You'll enjoy it the most.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, thank you.
The time of your pants coming off is coming soon.
I feel it. I know. It's inevitable. Well,
Just like Zurabak.
all right, folks. Keep those dice turning.
Hey there, dear listeners. Sam the DM here with the credits at the end of the show. Before we thank everyone that helps us make this little podcast of ours, I wanted to share a special announcement. Remind y'all once again, on April 7th at 12 p.m., I, your beloved DM, will be running a live show at the City Winery here in St. Louis. If you'd like to come out and see me, I will be running a one-shot for some local comedians and improvisers, Connor Branson, Elena Huthsing, and Tree Sanchez. It'll be hilarious, there'll be action, there'll be laughs, and you can come see it on April 7th at noon at City Winery STL. If you go to citywinery.com/St. Louis, you'll find us on their events page. Tickets are available, so please come out and see me. On to our regularly scheduled credits. Challenge Rating 0 was edited by the incomparable Audius Prime, a.k.a. Matt Sims. You can find more of his work at audiusprime.com. Music for Challenge Rating 0, including our amazing theme song, is provided by the harp wolf Danielle Williams. You can find more of her work at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com, including her album Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change. Additional music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by Justin Ra. You can find more of his work at justinra.com, including his album Age of the Spirit. If you want to find us on social media, we are on Facebook and Instagram Instagram at Challenge Rating 0. We're at Twitter at Challenge_0. And if you'd like to email us here at the show and send in any questions for As the Dice Turn segment, you can send any emails to challengeratingzero@gmail.com. Any questions we receive will be read on air. If you'd like to support the show, we are on Patreon, patreon.com/CR_ZERO. We've got some bonus content on there for you folks if you are interested. And if you can't support us fungibly, we ask only that maybe you take some time to give us a review, recommend us to a friend, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for listening. We're still trying to make the best show we can for you folks. And we're going to keep on keeping on. I hope you all take care of yourselves and each other out there. We'll see you next time.